We begin tonight with a very sad story. It's a story that you first saw on WNCT.com. Congressman Walter B. Jones passed away this afternoon in Greenville. He was 76 years old. The congressman represented the people of eastern North Carolina for more than 34 years. Tonight, our Ken Watling has a look back at his life and career.
Walter Beeman Jones Jr. was born on February 10, 1943 in the Pitt County town of Farmville. The son of a lifelong politician and public servant, Jones would follow the same path. His father, Walter Jones Sr., served 14 terms in the United States House of Representatives. During a conversation with WNCT's Alan Hoffman in 2014, Jones looked through old photographs, reflecting on what his father meant to him. This picture in particular stood out. In Washington, D.C., March of 1992, a young man and his dad.
So I kneel beside my father, and this picture was made with me kneeling beside my father, and he died in September of that year.
This is a special picture for you.
It is special because of my love for my father and the influence he had on my life. He helped me understand that if you're given the privilege to serve the people, you can do some good.
His father's 26 years in Congress sparked his son to politics. First 10 years in the North Carolina House, then 12 terms in the United States House of Representatives.
I'm a workhorse, not a show horse.
That bluntness all started when he changed parties from Democrat to Republican to win his congressional seat in 1994.
At that time, I felt that our party, the principles of the Republican Party, advocated what I really thought was in the best interest of America.
At the time?
At the time.
Is it still?
Not as much as it needs to be, and I think that is showing itself when you've got the fastest growing category in North Carolina is unaffiliated.
Jones served on the House Armed Services Committee. As he told WNCT in January of 2012 at the ceremonial groundbreaking for the expansion of the Greenville VA outpatient clinic, he chose to focus on the military because of another family member.
Why are you so passionate about our veterans and the military?
Well, it really goes back to my grandfather. He was a World War I veteran, and he was gassed at the Battle of the Oregon Forest, and I never knew him. And my father never talked much about him, but I got my grandfather's records when I first went to Congress, and I found out that when he returned from World War I, he was in and out of hospitals. He had a drug problem, he had an alcohol problem, and was never the same person. Took his own life, as a matter of fact, when he was 34 years of age.
Jones said his passion for the military comes down to doing what is right. However, as he told Night on Your Side in 2017, there was a time when he thought he made the wrong choice.
I will go to my grave regretting that I gave George Bush the authority to go into Iraq. I had the concerns at the time, but I was not strong enough to vote my conscience.
I will believe to this day that if Saddam was still in power, all these jihadist groups would not be growing out here in the Middle East. I really believe that.
Late in life, he held on to what he called the book.
All these are letters I have gotten back from families who received condolence letters. I've signed over 11,000 letters. I don't even read them. I can't read them because emotionally it bothers me that I sent their kids to die for an unnecessary war.
Jones also committed his life to preserving and protecting North Carolina's unique history and culture. In 1998, he passed legislation to protect the wild horses on Shackelford Banks. After that, he worked with numerous North Carolina legislators, continuing to preserve our state's wild horses. In 2010, Congressman Jones was named number 17 out of 535 on the Hill newspaper's 25 hardest working lawmakers list. In 2004, a survey of top Capitol Hill staff conducted by Washingtonian magazine ranked Congressman Jones number 1 out of the 435 U.S. House members in the just plain nice category.
All in all, if I can't do what I think is right for the people, then I probably shouldn't be there.
Jones' time in Congress saw 4 presidents in the White House, 2 Democrats and 2 Republicans.
My chief of staff says about me, when Walter Jones goes to vote, I don't know if he's going to vote as a conservative or as a populist or as a libertarian.
Is that a positive?
Well, to me it is.
Dozens of lawmakers and state officials are speaking out about Jones, including Governor Roy Cooper, who released this statement, which says in part, "I'm grateful for the life and service of my longtime friend, Congressman Walter B. Jones, Jr. He was a public servant who was true to his convictions, and he will be missed."
Tonight, many are mourning the loss of Congressman Walter B. Jones, Jr. He represented North Carolina's 3rd congressional district. The congressman died yesterday on his 76th birthday. Today, WNCT's Courtney Allen visited his hometown of Farmville to see how people are reacting. She joins us now with more. Courtney.
Ken, nearly everyone I spoke with today in Farmville has crossed paths with Congressman Walter B. Jones Jr. in one way or another. He was born and raised there, and despite spending the majority of his time in Washington representing Eastern North Carolina, he always maintained his permanent residence in Farmville. To the community, that meant everything. Today I spoke with Mayor Robert Evans, who has known Congressman Jones since high school.
Well, certainly we're shocked and depressed by it. Walter was not only a good friend, but a good citizen of Farmville. He's been here all of his life, and he has represented us well as he has a lot of other people in Eastern North Carolina.
Evans says Jones will most be remembered for his character, dignity, and integrity. People all over the East are reacting to the congressman's death. Many of you, the viewers, commented on our Facebook page in honor of Congressman Jones. Glenn Thompson wrote in part, "He was a great man, a strong supporter for our military. He will be missed. My prayers for the family." Mary Prince weighing in, saying, "Thank you for your service, praying for his family." Julie Cutler-Perry saying he will truly be missed by Eastern North Carolina. Prayers for his family. Make sure to stay tuned to 9 on Your Side on air and online for more coverage. Live in the studio, Courtney Allen, 9 on Your Side.
Courtney, thank you. Members of faith-based organizations are coming together in prayer, remembering the life and legacy of Congressman Jones. The interfaith clergy of Pitt County wrote in a statement, "Congressman Jones was a man of the people with a kind heart and the courage of his convictions. He dedicated his life to serving his Savior and to standing up for Americans who needed a voice." Pastor Jason Lineberger of Ignite Church in Winterville also shared his thoughts.
He saved me tons and tons of paperwork. His team was willing to work for me as though they did work for me. And this was at a time when even I wasn't getting paid as a church planting pastor. And so he really made me and our whole organization feel really special and saved us a lot of time and grief.
Pastor Lineberger said not only did Congressman Jones meet the needs of those who were really important to the city, he also had time for the average citizen. Dozens of lawmakers and state officials are speaking out about Congressman Jones. Congressman G.K. Butterfield released a statement today saying in part, "To serve alongside Walter Jones was a great honor and privilege. I will miss his humility, intellect, and unwavering love of his community." 9 on Your Side spoke with Representative Butterfield earlier this month, who shared a story about the last time he saw his longtime friend.
I visited with Walter on January 4th in his home and administered the oath of office to him. The House of Representatives actually voted to empower me to administer the oath to him. And then I asked him to raise his right hand, and he placed his left hand on the Bible, and he took the oath of office for the 116th Congress. He was so delighted that I was willing to do that, and I was honored to do it.
Senator Burr also releasing a statement today saying in part, "Walter will be remembered as a man of strong principles, willing to take an unpopular stand when necessary. He was a hard-working and faithful public servant, and he will sorely be missed. Our prayers are with his family. May he rest in peace."
He was a second-generation North Carolina congressman who called Farmville home. Walter B. Jones Jr. died over the weekend. He served as both a Republican and Democrat during his time in office.
As a Democrat, Jones was a state legislator in Raleigh and a Republican member of the U.S. House of Representatives in Washington, D.C. WNCT's Courtney Allen joins us now with What's Next. Courtney.
Ken, Shayla, Jones began as a congressman in 1997, serving ever since. Unfortunately, he did not finish out this term in Congress, which began in January. Now his spot will need to be filled. There will need to be a special election to find his replacement, called by Governor Roy Cooper. ECU political science professor Carmine Scavo says he expects the earliest it could happen is May. He says the longer that seat remains open, the longer Eastern North Carolina is not represented in Congress.
What's the impact on North Carolina? You know, we now have 2 open seats, and so we're dramatically underrepresented. Representation by states in the United States Congress is less important than it's ever been. It's representation by parties, or it's representation by ideology that's more important.
North Carolina's 9th district is also vacant due to issues with the absentee ballot. Governor Roy Cooper says he will make an announcement soon regarding the special election for the 3rd congressional district. More on that and the process moving forward coming up in your news at 6. Courtney Allen, 9 on Your Side.
Courtney, thank you. Congressman Jones was known for his advocacy for our troops. Today, 9 of your side's Isabel Albritton traveled to Jacksonville and spoke to service members about his impact.
Integrity, great character, and love the Lord.
This is how Grethel Humphrey, a United States Air Force veteran, describes the late Congressman Walter B. Jones.
He didn't just talk it, he lived it. And when you spoke to him or when you got a hold of him, he didn't blow you off. He was a man of his word.
Humphrey says Congressman Jones always did what he could to help veterans.
That's why nobody ever beat him, because they knew he was a champion for veterans. And we're going to miss that.
Members of the DAV Onslow County Chapter 16 say Congressman Jones had a great impact on both our community and our military because he took the time to listen to the people and their concerns.
I think he was a good man that helped our military a lot, and I'm sorry to see he passed, and I hope we get someone as good.
Humphrey says Congressman Jones has left behind a legacy and big shoes to fill.
In my lifetime, I found out a lot of politicians, they only want to be concerned with you during election year. He wasn't like that. It wasn't just election year he was concerned. It was the whole time. Now, whoever replaces him is like that, he'll get the same support.
In Jacksonville, Isabel Albritton, 9 on your side.
Congressman Jones will be laid to rest this week. There will be 2 days of public and private services. All will be held at St. Peter Catholic Church in Greenville. It's right off 5th Street. A public visitation will take place Wednesday night from 4 to 8 o'clock in the evening. The funeral is set for Thursday afternoon at 1:30, and it is open to the public.
Hundreds of people gathered at St. Peter Catholic Church this afternoon to pay their final respects to Congressman Walter B. Jones, Jr. Good evening. I'm Shayla Reeves. Thank you for joining us. Ken Watling is off tonight. Funeral services took place for Congressman Jones this afternoon. He represented North Carolina's 3rd Congressional District for more than 20 years and called Farmville home. 9 of your side's Brandon Truitt attended the Mass in Greenville. He joins us now from outside the church. Brandon, what was it like inside the church today?
Shayla, it was incredibly moving and emotional at times. We heard of 6 eulogies, all painting a picture of who Jones was, some of them having great stories of him in his younger career. But one of the most moving moments came from a mother and daughter who met Jones in the worst of times. The funeral for Congressman Walter B. Jones might almost seem normal from the outside. Singing, praying, and eulogies honoring the life lost. But one difference here. The stories were unmatched.
At that time, I did not know him yet, but I knew that he was an important leader.
Connie Gruber was the first of 6 eulogists. She first met the congressman in 2000. Her husband, a Marine, had just been killed in an Osprey accident.
How awesome it was that he would take the time to come and be there for us and to be there for the brave Marines whom he did not know.
Her husband's funeral would start a 19-year friendship with Jones. The military ruled her husband's crash as pilot error, but it was faulty equipment ending his life. Jones would work alongside Connie and her daughter Brooke for 14 years to fix the case.
I'll also say goodbye to the great man who stood by me all those years and defended my father.
Brooke last saw Jones at her ceremony, announcing her acceptance to the U.S. Military Academy at West Point.
I was so happy and proud to have him there, and very happy when he also commented, "And good Lord willing, I will be there for you at your graduation next May."
We know that moment will not come, but Jones leaves Brooke with a trail of memories on how a congressman helped a grieving mother and daughter. So many great stories shared throughout that service today. Aside from his work with the military, I asked what his legacy might be from those who knew him best today, and many of them saying it was his faith in Shayla that was fully on display today.